I'm Dylan Edwards. I'm the Service Department Manager for Mid-South Roof Systems. We're up here on this roof today to take a look for signs of damage. As the winter months start to turn into the spring, ice is going to thaw out off the roof, and so maybe places where damage has either been hidden beneath it or maybe even been caused by the ice itself. A couple of things that happen during the wintry months is you have a lot of things falling out of trees, and some stuff gets picked up by the wind, thrown up onto the roof, and so things like AC unit doors or other pieces of metal can cause lots of damage. And as the snow falls and the ice freezes, that becomes harder and harder to find. Sometimes it won't leak during the winter because it's frozen, and as that stuff starts to thaw out, that frozen ice in the system starts to leak into the building. If it's not already thawed out, we'll go ahead and remove the ice and snow and take a look and make repairs. We've had cases where we've got buildings that have an internal drain, so that's where the water doesn't shed off the sides of the building. It actually drains through some sort of plumbing in the interior of the roof section. Sometimes during the fall, the trees dump all the leaves on the roof. That stuff gets down inside of that drain and it gets blocked up. Well, as that water freezes, it becomes very heavy and we can have a roof collapse. In some cases where the damage to the building is so severe, we may actually have to elect a builder to get involved. And that builder would have to, for one, put the iron and steel back together and then have that inspected to make sure it's safe for us to work on. And then as that's done, the decking goes down and then we come right behind them and we start covering it up. So at Mid-South Roof Systems, we offer an annual inspection and a biannual inspection. We like to look for things like debris, that if the leaves fall in the fall. We want to make sure that stays cleared out of drainage points. We want to look for signs of storm damage where either door panels from equipment's blown off, tree limbs they've made it onto the roof. As those tumble across the roof, they'll cause lots of punctures and they'll tear the roof apart. We want to make sure that stuff gets repaired. As water intrudes into your system, it can damage the structure itself. As that system further deteriorates and then you have a case of where you have freezing, that system can fail or the structure can fail itself and you can actually have a collapse of the steel structure and the roof assembly altogether. If you have a building that is not protected with some sort of lightning ground protection, you can have cases where the lightning, it reaches the screw or the plate that's underneath the membrane. That sort of strike is going to burn the membrane every single time, but there are cases where it strikes off into the insulation. That insulation will smolder underneath the roofing membrane. If there's enough airflow inside of that system, that smolder can become hot enough to burn the membrane itself or even catch fire. If you have a fire that breaks out from lightning, it's going to cook all your insulation and further damage the system and even compromise the steel structure itself. So, what's on your roof? Call Mid-South Roof Systems and have us take a look. Let us make sure that all the drainage points are cleaned out and free of debris, that there's no damage on your roof that's going to allow water intrusion to compromise that system.